Hello, boys and girls. I'm so glad that you're here to join me for our Bible story. Today we are going to be looking at a parable that Jesus taught his disciples, and this parable is called the parable of the unforgiving servant. It's as we continue learning about forgiveness. And you can find this in Matthew chapter 18, verses 21 through 35. Now, Peter was talking to Jesus, and he asked him, "Lord, how many times should I forgive my brother or sister who sins against me? Should I forgive them as many as 7 times?" And Jesus said, "Not just 7 times, but rather as many as 77 times. And then he goes on to say, "Therefore, the kingdom of heaven is like a king who wanted to settle accounts with his servants. Now, when he began to settle his accounts, they brought to him a servant who owed him 10,000 bags of gold. But because the servant didn't have enough to pay it back, the master ordered that he should be sold along with his wife and children and everything that he had, and that the proceeds should be used as payment. But the servant, he bowed down before him, kneeled, and said, 'Please, please be patient with me, and I'll pay you back.' Now the master had compassion on that servant, and he released him, and he forgave the loan. Now, when the servant went out, he found one of his fellow servants that owed him only 100 coins. And he grabbed that servant by the throat, and he said, 'Pay me back what you owe me.' And the fellow servant fell down and begged him, 'Please, please be patient with me. I'll pay you back.' But the first servant refused, and instead he threw him into prison until he paid back his debt. Now, when his fellow servants saw what had happened, they were deeply offended, and they came and told their master all that had happened. His master called the first servant back, and he said, 'You wicked servant, I forgave you all that debt because you appealed to me. Shouldn't you also have mercy on your fellow servant, just as I had mercy on you?' And in his anger, his master handed him over to the jailers until he should pay back all that he owed. And Jesus told Peter, 'This is how my heavenly Father will treat each of you, unless you forgive your brother or sister from your heart.'" Now, boys and girls, this story teaches us that we need to learn to be forgiving. We have a forgiving, loving, compassionate, merciful God. And as followers of Jesus, we too need to follow him in doing this and learning how to forgive, even when it's hard. I hope that you've enjoyed the story. I hope you have a blessed week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.